What is up, Packers fans, and welcome back to the Daily Draft. I am your host and the publisher of Packer Report, Ross Uglem, and we are brought to you, as always, by Brewski Light Lager from Badger State Brewing, the greatest can in all Wisconsin. And today, we are talking about a possible Packers top 60, possible Packers first-round pick. That would be Arkansas edge Landon Jackson. Let's dive right into the pros column. Ideal size for the position at 6'6" and 264 pounds. Not only is that prototypical size for the league, it is prototypical size for the Green Bay Packers, who are constantly reminding us how they don't want to get smaller on the edge. The athletic tests that we do know are off the charts, insane explosive numbers, and that 4.68 40 is plenty fast. Landon Jackson, obviously a multi-year starter in the SEC. So the level of competition, not necessarily a huge concern for him, but it is always nice to see guys play really well in the Senior Bowl. And that's what he did. He played really well at the Senior Bowl in practices and one-on-ones, had a very excellent week in Mobile. He's a long athlete who uses that in the pass rush game to maintain space, to operate between him and the offensive tackle. A lot of scouts would call that extension, whatever terminology you want to use, though. Landon Jackson has it and has the ability to use it. He is strong at the point of attack. He doesn't give ground and does a good job for a 6'6" guy with pad level. Does not let offensive tackles get underneath him or tight ends get underneath him and move him around when he is defending the run. One thing I notice on tape, I think he does a really good job in twists and games for a taller player. Oftentimes, the guys that you're going to want working on stunts are like 6'2" defensive tackles, or your undersized pass rushers like Clay Matthews, or even like the Packers use Za'Darius Smith, right? Za'Darius never had ideal length for an edge player, but I think Landon Jackson does a really good job on stunts and games for a guy of his height and of his length. Active hands in the pass rush game, doesn't get stuck, doesn't get stopped doing one thing, likes to use his hands more than just try to run through a guy's face, has multiple pass rush moves that are impressive. And like I said, counters, things of that nature. He's not just a one-trick pony. I think he's a high motor player, tries hard, hustles, backside of run plays, hustle sacks, hustle pressures. I think he seems a lot like a high motor player, which you appreciate in any time a pass rusher, because you never know with the extension of plays, when that play is actually over. That's when I enjoy watching Landon Jackson is at the end of plays, because he's a hustle guy. He's got a good long arm. Again, we keep talking about his length. This is just the next thing in my notes. You keep talking about his length, likes to use the long arm to, create space, create leverage, move that offensive tackle where he wants him to go, disengage, go get the quarterback. And he does. He tries to run through your face. And that is more of a Packers fit thing than a pro. Though if he's successful at running through your face, there's value to that. It's the straightest line to the quarterback. It's absolutely demoralizing for the other team. But that's just like his mentality, and I'm going to certainly view that as a pro. Speaking of pros, come with us, pros, at the Green Bay Draft Guide, powered by Packer Report. Promo code DAILY for $1 off. The link should be right here in the description, whether you're on YouTube or on the podcast side. But we're going to have so much for you guys and so much for you to dive into in that guide. More than 225 player profiles, 7-round Packers mock, my Packers specific big board, Jacob Morley's tiering system to really narrow down who you're looking at, a couple of feature articles. Guys, please buy the guide. Not only is it a great way to support us, but it's the best resource for Packers fans heading into a draft that just so happens to be in Green Bay, and a team that would like to, move up a level in the NFL towards contention as this young group grows older and older. Okay, cons, not particularly bendy pass rusher, right? I like the bendy guys. The Packers don't necessarily care. Some would argue that their strategy isn't working, as their current pass rush group is not achieving the results that they would like to achieve, both from a team standpoint, talking about the GM wanting to get more pressure with four, and I think from a fan standpoint, just saying that it's not acceptable, and I get that. So change of direction and agility, I think, can be in question. We don't have the agility numbers from the combine. I haven't seen anything on tape that would tell me like, oh, this is a sub 7 3-cone guy. He really bends the edge. He doesn't. Does not look as explosive on tape as the testing would tell you. I was surprised by his explosive numbers after watching the tape. He should have a better bull rush. For a guy who is 6'6", almost 270, he should have a better bull rush than he does. Not as good as getting under a guy and just bullying him as I think he should be. Because he's got that long arm, he's got the active hands. He's a technician, but the bull rush could and should be better. Not particularly productive, more of a projection at this point. His productivity level is not what you would want from a first-round pass rusher. Not that young for a 3-year player, already 22 years old, and he'll turn 23 during the NFL playoffs. Whether you're breaking down draft picks or breaking in a fresh pack of cheese curds, you need a cold one in hand. Grab Brewski Light Lager, one of Wisconsin's fastest growing beer brands, crisp, refreshing, and built for game day. Or if you like your beer like your offense, bold and dynamic, pour yourself a Grassy Place Hazy IPA, the #1 IPA in northeastern Wisconsin. As far as the Packers fit, I think I have to see the agilities, but he's certainly the type of edge that Goody always talks about wanting. They certainly don't shy away from guys from the SEC in the top 60, Eric Stokes, Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker, and those are just all the ones from Georgia. I'm sure there have been other SEC guys. Javon Bullard is still from Georgia. Maybe it's just Georgia, but they certainly will look to the SEC for their top picks. And the team need is still there at this point in free agency. The Packers have been sort of vaguely linked to Dante Fowler, but none of the other big-time pass rush options have became anything. Right now, Trey Hendrickson is not a Green Bay Packer. Trey Hendrickson is a Cincinnati Bengal. Right now, the need is there, and Landon Jackson, I think, actually makes a lot of sense. Love to see the agilities. Love to see how well he fits with the Packers. Would love him as a second-round pick. Would be a little bit nervous if he was the guy in round 1. But I think that there is a chance of both of those things coming to fruition. Overall, I got a really solid second-round grade on Landon Jackson. He is my 36th player overall. He can start, I think, right now for the Green Bay Packers or any other NFL team, help you a ton against the run, and you just pray that you develop him from a 6-sack guy into a 10-sack guy. If he becomes a 10-sack guy who's as good as he is against the run, he's going to be a really, really valuable NFL player at the NFL level, and he's going to make his GM look very, very smart. Guys, let's do the short and sweet version. Drink, brewski, buy the draft guide, and go Pack Go.